Good Thursday, Vancouver. It is November the 21st. I am getting so psyched about the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who in 2 days. My name is Steve Ferguson, and this week's edition of Terminal City News is brought to you by the Province app, now available on your mobile phone. Do you wish to be a newscaster? Well, you can be with the Province app, now available on Androids and iPhones. Now for your first item of news. Krista Eifert, a resident of Cornell who has recently been diagnosed with cancer, is having the entire community of Cornell rally around her in an effort to help her get her cancer treatment. Why? Well, quite frankly, the community loves her. This is a woman who has raised more than 50 foster children, including 4 daughters of her very own. As a resident of the Greater Vancouver area, this sort of generosity and community rallying is completely foreign to me. Alien, one might even say. So it bears further study and merit. Is this what you humans call friendship? An elderly Victoria woman got into a bit of trouble when she sent her loved one $88,000 for his medical bills. The trouble is, the loved one is someone she's been kind of flirting with online for the past few months, and he lives in Nigeria. Yes, the poor woman has lost $88,000 in an elaborate Nigeria scam. I don't think he was claiming to be a prince, but he was claiming that he loved her, which may be just as fraudulent. Needless to say, the Canadian Task Force dealing with fraud overseas, they say basically as soon as the money leaves the country, there's not actually much they can do besides log it and roll their eyes and say, "How did you fall for this?" A Vancouver woman married to a Washington resident was recently arrested on a Seattle ferry for assaulting her husband on the ferry in front of a lot of witnesses. Apparently, the couple's been married for about 10 years now. They had a bit of an argument while on the sailing. She started walloping on him. Pew, pew, pew. The captain had to stop the ferry. They had to be pulled apart. All I'm seeing is that the woman has assaulted the guy. So I can just imagine that the husband, he's seen all these people around him, and he's thinking to himself, Jesus, how do I respond to this? I can't beat her back. So I'm just gonna, I guess, sit here and take it. Or maybe he was really old or something. But needless to say, the woman has been taken to court in Washington State for this. I just love this because this is part of our series today on Canadians or British Columbians. One might even say British Columbians gone bad in foreign countries. British Columbians gone bad, maybe. Oh, British Columbians gone bad abroad. Yeah. So, I mean, I absolutely think that this is hilarious because you should see the court photo. She just looks like angry. She's like, "What am I doing here? I'm from Victoria. I don't have to abide by the law." More on British Columbians gone bad abroad. We have Paul Cobb, a man who is from Vancouver and was arrested here in Vancouver for promoting hate over the internet. He is now a white supremacist and has gone to the southern U.S., where he has continued to join many neo-Nazi groups. This is the thing which I find absolutely hilarious. The guy's from Vancouver. What on earth is a white supremacist doing in Vancouver? Is he, mad? I mean, it's just can you honestly be a white supremacist neo-Nazi in Vancouver? Does this even remotely make sense? It's like, why don't you all go back home? And then everyone in Vancouver is just like, why don't you go back home? And meanwhile, all the coastal Salish people are just like, what? Why can't we go back home? Why can't things go back to the way they were? And everyone is just like, what is home? Vancouver is Vancouver home to anybody? Aren't we all immigrants except for the First Nations? I'm pretty sure we've killed most of the First Nations people who actually call this place home. So it's Vancouver neo-Nazis boggle my mind. Most neo-Nazis do in general, but I mean, ones in Vancouver, so bizarre. It's a big F you to all the people who rely on them. BC Ferries made an asinine announcement just the other day in a stupid follow-up to last week's story. Yes, that's right. Remember when I said, hey, look, they're not giving themselves bonuses. Instead, they're just calling their bonuses a different pay scale and treating it like a bonus. Whatever. They decided to further punish their patrons by eliminating seniors rates and reducing sailings because, I mean, none of us have been in a lineup at a ferry. It's not like there's a need or anything. And interestingly enough, I love this part too. They're actually going to be introducing slot machines, like for gambling, ka-ching, one-armed bandits. They're actually going to be instituting those on the ferries as well. This is the thing that really kind of like flummoxes me. Like, I don't get this at all because, I mean, I'm not inherently against slot machines being on there. I know there's people out there who say, gambling, let's avoid it, blah, blah, blah. But if we're having a legitimate trouble funding BC Ferries, what's wrong with bringing in, a little extra funding, just as long as it's done properly? They stick it in that little lounge or something and it's monitored, whatever. It can be a good source of revenue. But why would you turn around and basically punch the elderly in the face and say, you know what? If you want to ride our ferries, you're going to pay full cost, old guy. And then turn around and say, hey, if you want to ride our ferries, you're going to have to deal with like 4 sailing waits. You want to get to Nanaimo on the holidays? It's not happening, buddy. And then they say, oh, by the way, you're allowed to gamble, though, by the way, because we need the revenue. All this, makes some basic level of sense. But the problem is, again, these execs who are paying themselves ludicrous amounts of money. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Steve, the amount that they're paying themselves isn't equal to the amount that they need to spend on keeping up with the sailings, on subsidizing elder costs, but whatever. It's at least a show of faith. It's at least a show. It's like, hey, we're having hard times. Even our execs are taking pay cuts. I mean, it's that makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Instead of BC Ferries execs, like, I just imagine them in like a rap video where there's like money showering down from the roof, and they're all like those execs are all dressed in bikinis and they're like rubbing the money all over themselves. Like these, actually, they're old white guys, undoubtedly, right? So these big old white guys, they're like, the money, honey, and they're, ooh, that's a good sign. I'm issuing a challenge right now. Respond to this video, whether it's on YouTube or however, and make your own BC Ferries rap song. I want to hear some lyrics. This is the challenge I'm issuing to you. Take this BC Ferries issue, and I want to hear a rap song about it. I'm not very good about writing this stuff, but the challenge is to you. If you have a great rap song, and I really like it, I will post it in next week's episode. I will absolutely post it. And I will post it on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, and stuff like that. I will say, this is hilarious. And you know what? I will email it to BC Ferries. You make me a great rap song. I will email it to BC Ferries, and I will say, hey guys, look, this is what we think of you. Wow, this is a great idea. I love this idea. So I know there's a few of you out there for sure who are watching, who are even remotely musically talented. Please submit that rap song. And that's all the news we have for you this week, Vancouver. I am looking forward to those rap videos. Please send them in ASAP. I want to send them to BC Ferries. I want to post them up here. Let's make a go out of it, people. See you next week.